was like, what were you doing with my drapes? The drapes that were hanging in the apartment. I never got the answer to that. Hi, this is Kari from Sky Properties, and today we're talking about when to hire your first employee. I would want to start with saying you want to hire your first employee before you actually need your first employee. Once business gets going and you feel like it's on solid ground, and it's still probably going to hurt you financially to hire someone. Maybe you want to start with someone just part-time. You want to hire your first employee. What you don't want to do is wait until you're so busy, you don't have time to train them, you don't have time to do anything, and then you end up doing everything and working yourself to death, which I have done. I have also learned to hire ahead of time now and even be possibly slightly have more employees than I need just so that I'm ready for that next big property. The first person I hired was Frank, and Frank was fantastic. And Frank brought something to the table that I didn't really have or do, and that's that he was very technologically savvy. So he was sort of a yin to my yang, which was good. And he also had more of a focus on commercial property management than residential. When you're hiring that first person, you don't want necessarily a carbon copy of you. You want to hire someone that's a complement to you. You really go a lot off of your gut, but I would say you're going to want to prepare your questions ahead of time. For me, the best employees always turn out to be the ones that can answer questions that have to do with scenarios. If this happened, what would you do? And those types of questions lead you to people that have common sense, and you can't be a property manager without common sense. It's just too crucial. I've hired someone from my skincare place. I've hired my photographer. I've hired my waitress. I would say that you can see people in their real world working environment, and that's probably one of the best ways to hire people is seeing them when they're actually working. I have some funny stories about hiring employees. Late on a Friday afternoon once, I was hiring and I had 10 candidates, and then I hired one who was extremely professional. And that was it. Closed the office Friday night. Had to run to a building on Monday morning. Frank beat me to the office, and the girl was sitting at the desk, and he was behind her, and he was going like this, "Help me." And I was like, what in the world? So I'm like, I'm gonna grab some coffee. And so then Frank came out and he's like, who did you hire? This girl is like so unprofessional. The way she's answering my phone, I was like, okay, let me go back and look and see, like, is this the same person? So I go back in and I look at this lady and I was like, holy crap, it's not the same person. So I go to my desk and I write out a check for the 2 hours that she's there. I hand her the check. I'm like, please leave. I don't know who she was, but it wasn't the woman I hired. It wasn't even, we pulled out the driver's license. We pulled out everything. Like, it wasn't her.